What's up, bud? It's Rob. This is Apparel Success, and in this video here, I'm going to show you the 3 ways to offer value as a clothing brand. And I'm going to call this the 3 C's of value for a clothing brand. And by the end of this video, you're going to have a very structured way to actually inject value into your clothing brand so that people actually want to buy your gear. All right, it's going to be a really good video. Stay tuned. So you might have noticed how on this channel I like to cover really nuanced ideas that go really deep into how things are actually working and the subtle mechanics behind what's actually allowing you to achieve success for your clothing brand. Something like how when your clothing brand appears like it's doing really well, that makes other people drawn in and they want to buy your clothing, which actually makes your clothing brand do really well, and it spirals in this upward spiral to success. Concepts like that you can't really find everywhere, and they're very nuanced ideas. And when it comes to your clothing brand, I want to constantly offer you value that goes really deep and allows you to see how things are actually working. One of these nuanced concepts that's super important to understand as a clothing brand owner is the concept of value, okay? What is it about your clothing brand that's actually offering people value? And that's what I want to talk about right now, is I want to get into my 3 C's of offering value as a clothing brand, okay? And the 3 C's are condition, connection, and credibility. And I want to jump into each of those right now and why each of those are super important for you to offer value as a clothing brand owner. So the first C of how to actually add more value to your clothing brand is condition. And condition is basically, what is the quality of your clothing? Are you using really nice t-shirts? Are you using really nice sweaters? Are you using really nice sweatpants? Are you actually using custom tags? And just overall, what is the general quality of your clothing? Because the lower the quality of your clothing, the lower the value you have as a clothing brand. The higher quality you have, the more value you're actually injecting into your clothing brand. The second C of offering value as a clothing brand is connection. What type of connection are you able to create between your clothing brand and your ideal customer? And how deeply do they resonate with your brand concept and actually understand and stand for what it is that you represent, okay? This is super important, and you can do this in really 2 different ways. You can have a brand like ours that really represents a deep-seated value, like rural Canada and, you know, that true Canadian culture. Or you can also connect with people in terms of style, okay? You can also connect with people based on what they like to wear. And if your clothing brand is made in a way that really resonates with somebody's style, you can also create a really deep connection that way. But the second important way to offer value as a clothing brand is through connection. The third C for offering value as a clothing brand is credibility. This is how people are able to tell that you are already cool and that you're actually legit as a clothing brand. As they look out and they say, well, who else is wearing this clothing brand? And that's a natural human tendency to do that. And if you have celebrities wearing your clothing, or your clothing's been featured in an article, or you've been on Shark Tank, or you've been on some big blog, that's one way of actually securing credibility and actually offering your clothing brand a lot more value. Most startup clothing brand owners are hyper focused on that first C that I mentioned, condition, where they're really focused on the quality of their clothing, which is amazing, but they neglect the second C and the third C, which is establishing a connection and creating credibility for your clothing brand, okay? So I really hope that this video helps you realize the different ways that you can actually offer value as a clothing brand and how it's essential to have all 3 working for you in order for your clothing brand to truly be thriving and actually have a lot of value, okay? So I hope that this really helps you focus on whichever one you're lacking right now, and it should really help you actually have more value as a clothing brand. If you're lacking connection and credibility, I'm coming out with an online course on March 13th called Instagram Marketing for Clothing Brands that's going to help you uncover the values that your clothing brand represents so that you can connect much deeper. And I'm also going to be helping you build your Instagram audience and grow it quickly so that you can have more credibility and actually have an established clothing brand that has more value, okay? So if you're interested in that, course, there's a link in the description below to a wait list, and I have a little bit more information for you there. If you're interested, follow that link, check it out. Otherwise, if you've made it to this point in the video, I want to tell you about the closed Facebook group that we have going on for apparel success. There's a link in the description below. Follow that link, join us in the group. We're a bunch of clothing brand owners all in there to support each other and answer each other's questions. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.